On September 30th, the next to last day of the season, and needing just one more home run, he faced Tom Zachary of the Washington Senators.
The first Zachary offering was a fast one which sailed over for a called strike. The next was high. The Babe took a vicious swing at the third pitch ball, and the bat connected with a crash that was audible in all parts of the stand. While the crowd cheered and the Yankee players roared their greeting, the Babe made his triumphant, almost regal tour of the paths. And when he embedded his spikes in the rubber disc to officially homer 60, hats were tossed in the air, papers were torn up and tossed liberally, and the spirit of celebration permeated the place.
In that summer of '47, very few people knew that Pee Wee Reese and Jackie Robinson were going to be great teammates. They would become the boys of summer. Jackie Robinson, though not embraced by all of his teammates, did indeed win them over one by one. Pee Wee Reese, another Southerner, was the first to really embrace him.
Pee Wee, from the outset, felt that if I were the only white guy trying to break into all black league, I'd want somebody to be my friend. And he says, if Jackie Robinson has the ability and he can make it, that's all I'm going to ask.
We had some deep South boys on there, you know, from down in Alabama and Georgia, and they didn't appreciate it at all. And if you sat down and played cards with Jackie or something, they would let you know about it. You know, hi in the world, can you sit down and play with this so-and-so? Hey, man, he seemed like a pretty nice guy to me.
To Philadelphia, Jackie Robinson was the most hated man in the world. There was no one else who could comprehend his loneliness, his isolation. It wasn't until the Dodgers went on the road and his teammates saw how he was turned away at the front desk of the hotels that even a hardcore Southerner like Eddie Stanky could see that this was a social injustice.
Well, we'd go into St. Louis on the bus, and poor Jack had to go to another hotel. That's pretty hard to live with. Sure he had it, but never changed his personality or his thoughts about the game. When that game started, that first pitch, he was all ball player, all man.
Only with this woman, Rachel Robinson, Jackie's wife, could he let his guard down. He was a lonely man on an island with very few friends. Only Rachel could comprehend how difficult that first year was for Jackie.
He felt disappointed at times, frustrated, disillusioned, down, but he would pick himself up. He's very resilient and very determined, you know, really stubborn about the thing. He was going to make it work.
His story reads like Paul Bunyan's, a figure so larger than life, so mythical, that even his documented feats read like something from a legendary folk tale. Leroy Satchel Paige was armed with a blistering fastball that appeared to be the size of a pea and impeccable control. Over 4 decades, from the 1920s into the 60s, he dominated in the Negro and Major Leagues. The single most famous player in the history of the Negro Leagues, Satch didn't get his start in the majors until he was in his 40s. The oldest rookie in Major League history, depending on which date of birth you believe. Satch himself would never tell his exact age. Paige helped lead the Indians to a world championship in his debut season in 1948, and though his exact age may always have been in question, his baseball skills were not.
Satchel had an outstanding fastball, one of the best fastballs I've ever seen, was very live, and the greatest control that I've ever seen.
The well-traveled Paige played for many teams during his long and storied career, and when the regular summer baseball season ended, Satch would put together his own team, the Satchel Paige All-Stars, and tour the country playing Hall of Famer Bob Feller's own collection of Major League stars.
It was a racial rivalry situation where there's a lot of talk about no blacks in the big leagues. How would they fare against the big league ball players? And it was a great competition. We played in Yankee Stadium. We played across the United States. We played in Newark. We played in Cleveland, Columbus, Pittsburgh, Des Moines, Wichita, Denver, all throughout the United States and up and down the coast in Canada from Vancouver to San Diego. And it drew very well. As a matter of fact, in Yankee Stadium during the World Series in 1946, we drew over 100,000 in 2 games on a Friday night and a Sunday. And I pitched against Satchel, both games 5 innings. And of course, the games were very even. And the black players gave a good account of themselves, an excellent account of themselves.
Within the fraternity of Negro League players, Satchel Paige is revered as the best of the best, and he earned a reputation for doing whatever he pleased on the pitcher's mound.
A real good fastball, real good control, in and out, and up and down. But he knew just where he wanted to put the ball, and 9 out of 10 times he put it right where he wanted to. So he was tough. He was very tough.
Though the signing of Jackie Robinson opened the door for Negro Leaguers to play in the majors, Satchel felt his status among his peers should have placed him as the first to cross the color barrier. Paige didn't have to wait long, however, as visionary showman Bill Veeck signed him to a contract with the Indians of July of 1948, and the baseball world quickly discovered that Satch could still mow him down.
Now, the hard part is the people didn't get to see Satchel when Satchel was in his prime. See, and Satchel, 40-some years old, Satchel pitching against people in the major league was 20-some years old in their prime, and Satchel was a winner. Just to show you how good he must have been.
And of course, he came to Cleveland in '48, pitched for us, and won games. So if he'd gotten an opportunity at 22 as I got, no telling what kind of record set this gentleman would have set.
Paige pitched 2 seasons with the Indians and 3 more with the St. Louis Browns before retiring in 1953 at the supposed age of 46. But 12 years later, Charlie Finley signed Paige to a 1-game contract with the Kansas City A's, and Paige became the oldest pitcher in Major League history with a 3-inning 1-hit performance and picked up a strikeout victim in Boston pitcher Bill Monbouquet before leaving the game for good. On February 9, 1971, Commissioner Bowie Kuhn announced that Satchel Paige had been elected to the Hall of Fame, the first Negro League player to be inducted into Cooperstown.
What makes it so good is the fellows here who started this rumor about my age when I went to Cleveland in 1948. They said I was 65 when I went there then. And they got a little confused and they had it all on the street cars. If anybody gets Satchel Paige age, we'll give them a farm, we'll give them this. But as I made the little poem, Don't Never Look Back, something may be gaining on you. And that was the only thing what held me up in baseball, make me keep going.